Hello guys, Briskin here. First of all, Merry Christmas. We got a lot of albums again. Yeah, so let's get started onto it. I went to order these online. So let's get started with this album. No, none of these are orders. These albums are not in any particular order. It's going what if I just grab off from the pile. So first of all, it's gonna be Ghost, BC, and Phantasma. Their second album after Aponius, Aponis, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Aponis, some Latin words. Sam was alright. Has some, has some one of their popular songs in here. Year Zero. What else is in here? Year Zero, Monstrous Clock, Per Aspera de Dia Fairy, Gigolo, The Harm, Gigolo Harm. I can't pronounce. It's hard to pronounce those. The Specular Haze is probably one of my favorite. It's a good album. It's alright. It's a thumbs up for me. I say they probably have better albums than this one. So let's get on. We got Durham Gray. Burning to Death. This is a black album. Obviously, it's gonna be American. Part of this album. This album's it's kind of their alright album. It's not really much of uh it's it's probably like vulgar mixed with Kiss Row. So yeah, this one has that. Can you see everything? Can you? Alright. Booklet. This one. This album's kind of mediocre. It has good songs in here. Monster is Cold. Jesus Christ, Rock and Roll. Um, the finals probably a good one that a lot of people likes. Um, well, some Japanese words that I cannot really pronounce. And this one actually comes with a second disc, which it contains a special DVD of probably like live music videos or live compilations or something like that. It's a good album. It's still like a thumbs up for me. Next one is gonna be Korn, Serenity Severy, their 12th album before the Nothing. Almost finished the Korn discography, just waiting on one more album. And then I'll be finished with Korn for a while until I get their other albums like greatest hits and compilations and stuff like that. We got that artwork. So this is gonna be a standard. This is the standard edition. It's just gonna come with regular songs and stuff like that. Some popular songs, Rotting in Vain, Doctor Black as a Soul. It's one of their better newer albums. I think I prefer this album than the Nothing. I said give it a try. That is a good song. Insane. They actually have a Corey Taylor guest on that album, which is with Broken World. I'm not really a big fan of Corey Taylor, but there's something right. I don't want it's gonna be Mars Volta. I'm not gonna try and pronounce this, but there's this is the first album. Sadly, this album was more dedicated to their friend or maybe past bandmate who recently was I think committed suicide. But this album's really good. I say this is probably the Mars Volta you should start with. They don't get too crazy with it. With this album, yeah, and then it gets it gets flipped upside down, and as at the end of this booklet, that artwork right there. Um, Yeah, so this album's really good. Amazing album. Uh, it's gonna be two thumbs up for me. Love it. Other one's gonna be Nine Inch Nails with Teeth. This is a really good album. It's um kind of alright. It's more of the rocker album that's you know kind of rockish. You know, with Teeth, um, Hands That Feed Only, Getting Smaller, Collector. A lot of great songs. This is some stuff they still play. Hands That Feed obviously is the biggest single from that album. So, still thumbs up. Another one is Mushroom Head, Save Your Sorrow. I hear that it's the singer Wayne. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He recently gotten colon cancer, and I'm just like, I wanted to get a Mushroom Head album for a while, but I don't know which one to get. But when I heard that, I'm just like, I need to get an album that he sang on, because because um getting cancer is not fun, you know, and I gotta have Mushroom Head in my collection, because Mushroom Head is actually pretty good band. I think I prefer Mushroom Head more than Slipknot, to be honest. And it's mostly because Mushroom Head has more. They experiment more with with their CDs and stuff like that, and a little bit more. They get more teeth into it than Slipknot did. Post Joey and Paul. So, but Mushroom Head, this album is probably not their greatest album. It's pretty alright. It still thumbs up for me. If I would choose a different Mushroom Head album, I probably would pick Batches the Bloodfly, or M3, or 13. But I get this one first because the first one that Wayne sang on after Jason left the band, but now he's back. So the next one's the next Korn album, Pendulum Shift. This album's pretty okay. This is the first album that had returned to the band, and this album's probably okay. It's probably like right in the middle. It's not bad, not good. It's alright. It does its job to be a Korn album, and it introduces Head back into the band. There's some stuff that you might hear from Path of Totality, uh, but it's mostly more guitar focused album than Path of Totality is. There's some good songs in here. Never Never, obviously the big single from this. Pray for Me, Mass Hysteria, um, Punishment Time. It's All Wrong, Vitamines. And what we do. Love and Math is actually a really good song. This album gets like a one thumbs up for me. It's alright. I think I prefer better Korn albums, but if I feel in the mood for, like, I don't know, Mass Hysteria, I put it on. Next one is gonna be Korn, Path of Totality, the one I just mentioned before. Um, Korn looks like they just like, yeah. So like, this is such a album. Like, what can you say about it? It's like you nearly hate it, or you could tolerate its existence. There's never. I don't think there's ever a middle ground for this album. Um, but yeah, they collab with dubstep artists. This album came out in 2011, so that's when dubstep went big, and it makes sense for Jonathan to be interested in dubstep. Um, so it's an album that does make sense, but it shouldn't, to my, as most people say, it shouldn't be a studio album. It should be like a little collab album and a side pro. So like Korn with Corn Dubstep or something like that. I don't know. It shouldn't be a official album. I think a lot of people would tolerate this a lot more better if they just say, "Yep, this is a Corn album." But luckily, they didn't stick with this sound afterwards, because after that, Vigilant Ship came out, and there were some drops of dubstep in there, bro. But once the early Serenity came out, it's barely any. So so yeah. And speaking of Corn, just get this one out of the way. Corn 3. Um, yeah, this one's pretty rough. It's probably the worst Corn album ever. Um, the the music, the composition, Monkey. This is the first album with Ray, Monkey, Ray, Filthy. Actually, does a pretty good job of recreating the old style of Corn, which is this album supposed to do. The biggest gripe of this album is John's vocals. It's not John's, and I don't think it's Jonathan Davis' fault. It's more of the producer, which is Rod Robinson. He's the one that produced the first album and the second album. He, you know, Rod Robinson wanted a album full of daddy, full of good gods, just, and it doesn't work. Those things supposed to come out naturally for John, and as John progressed as a singer, he does it less and less because it has to come out when it has to. There has to be a creative, artistic vision to the way that John sings. You can't just tell him, "Oh, scream this way, cry this way." It has to come out naturally. In this album, it doesn't come out naturally. This is the worst Corn album. And if you were gonna, and to me, I'm a big Corn fan, and I'm a collector. So obviously I'm gonna get this album regardless if I like it or not. But if you're someone who just want to listen to music, just skip this one. Just pretend it doesn't exist. They don't even play none of these songs live, anyways. And unlike Path Totality, they at least play the Narcissistic Cannibal sometimes. This one, it's just like it never existed. It's just that, like, if this album got so bad, Jonathan's like, "No, what, fuck it, we're going dubstep." So that one's the first thumbs down for me. Next one is gonna be Geezer, Black Science. Yes, Geezer, the Black Sabbath bassist, Geezer. This is his side project. Um, a lot of people might think, and if you know anything about this side project, you might think, "Oh, why not Plastic Planet?" I think I like this album a lot more than Plastic Planet, and I think it gets overlooked. There's some great songs. There's nothing but I would like to show you everything, but there's some great songs in this album. Um, the first two songs you might listen to it and you're just like, whatever, but when Justify starts playing, Department, area code 51, Unspeakable Elvis, Northern Wisdom. There's some really good songs in here, and I yeah, I do recommend to check the Geezers this side project out. Skip the Dirt album. The Dirt album is kind of boring, but this album is probably my favorite. So listen to Black Science and Plastic Planet, and just ignore the third one. But yeah, so this one gets like a thumbs up for me, two thumbs up even. Next one, Van Halen. You know, Eddie Van Halen. What a great guitar player. You know, um, yeah. When Eddie passed away, I remember I was in the call with friends. He's like, "Hey, Briskin, do you heard the news that Eddie Van Halen passed away?" I was like, "What? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't pass away. He's just sleeping." And it's just I wasn't even a big Van Halen fan, but when hearing Eddie's loss, it kind of hits you like a truck. Like he inspired uh, many guitar players out of it. I mean, I won't call him a most he's probably is one of the most influential guitar players. But I think he's like the second Jimi Hendrix. All right, he's and this album like I I had to talk about eighties Eddie Van Halen's death because he's how can you not? But this album, Women, Women Treatment First, is probably one of my favorites. Very heavy metal. I like of course I like this first one too. The debuted in 1984, but I want to get this one first because this one gets underlooked. This one gets overlooked. But Fools, Everyone Wants Some. That's probably the well-known song in this album. Lots of Control. It's just this album is a great masterpiece, and if you overlook this album, you need to listen to it again because this is a really good album. That one's two thumbs up for me, and we miss you, Eddie Van Halen. And then next one, it's gonna be Deftones, Devon Eyes. Jumping into the second death, a band with a second death. You know, um, well, Chai, Chai. I don't remember his name, but he didn't. He was in a coma while this album was made and released. But man, Diamond Eyes was a really good album. I mean, I wish the original, God, you know, was here and play it, and there's some great songs in this album. Diamond Eyes, Rocket Skates, Sex Tape, Command Control, like there's I just recently just started listening to this album, so I'm not really familiar with the songs names. But yeah, 978 Evil is really good. Prince, Beauty School. Have you seen the Future Royal? It's like great songs after great songs in this album. So like two thumbs up for me. I'm not really big Deftones fan. Love White Pony. Love Diamond Eyes. That's probably the two albums I say is their masterpiece. I know a lot of Deftones fans might hang me for that, but that's my opinion. And lastly is Cold. 13 Ways to Bleed in Stage. On Stage. This is gonna be the last album I'm gonna talk about. This album's really good. It's more of a post grunge mixed new metal type of thing. This album came out in 2001. Um, I actually did not grow up with this band. I just saw this band recently on YouTube, not live. But I really discovered this band recently when in quarantine. YouTube recommended me a song called "Just Got Wicked," and I am hooked. My favorite songs from this album's "No for No One" and "The World Just Got Wicked." She said it's pretty good. Anti-love songs, Confessions, Send All the Clowns is all good. The only one I really do not or like is "Bleed," featuring Aaron Lewis. I pretty much just said featuring Aaron Lewis, and you probably understand why I'm not too excited for that song. But yeah, it's still a pretty good album, man. I said it's two thumbs up actually, and if you like a post grunge, but you want a little more teeth into it, this one's probably a good album to listen to. You, yeah. And I just know that this album did came out in 2001, so you might hear some 2001 stuff coming out from this. So yeah, and that's it. That's all the albums I like to share. More obviously still more coming in the way. What you guys think about these albums? You love them, you hate them, you want to check them out. Alright, well, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all that fun stuff. And bye.